Hey everyone, it's Nomad Flair here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be going over the keyboard and mouse settings that I use when I play Warzone 2.0 Vondel. As you guys know, I do own the PlayStation 5, I don't own a PC, so the settings I'll be sharing today are going to be extremely useful for beginners and intermediate keyboard and mouse users when playing console, whether it's on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox. PC players can also use the same settings as well. So before we dive into the settings, just to let you know which keyboard and mouse I'm using this keyboard right here, which is known as the Keychron K2 version 2. It's actually a mechanical keyboard, it's not actually a gaming keyboard, but it actually served me really well, really like it. It's very versatile, love the size as well, and the RGB lights, and hence why I've owned it for the past couple of years. I have reviewed this keyboard on the channel, so if you are interested in watching the review, I'll leave it as a pop-up card right now. And onto the mouse, this is the Razer Viper Ultimate, which has a DPI of 20,000, so it's very, very, very sensitive. But I've never used that, of course. So I've owned the mouse and the keyboard, I would say, for around 3 years now, and I haven't looked back. Alright, so let's dive into the settings very quickly. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. Keyboard and mouse, click onto that. And then, of course, you're going to change that to mouse. Okay, so that's what you're going to be using. And then heading down to the menu mouse sensitivity. This is only basically how sensitive the mouse is in the menu, and I've kept that at 1.95. All right, so as you can see, it's pretty good. The mouse sensitivity in game is 5.55. All right, that's what I've found to be the sweet spot so far. Okay, I have been using this for the past 2 years. I've also used the same mouse sensitivity on Modern Warfare 2019, and it served me really well so far. However, the mouse sensitivity I currently have now is 2400 DPI. Show more, I've kept everything at 1.0, so I recommend doing the same thing unless you want to tweak it. Heading down to ADS sensitivity multiplier, this is 0.96. The default is around 1.0. I like to kind of lower it down, and that actually helps really well when it comes to aiming onto enemies. So keep it as that. Show more, I keep it as after zoom. I'm not going to go into what they actually do because everything, as you can see, is highlighted on the right hand side of the screen, so you can read that, guys. ADS sensitivity multiplier 0.95. I highly recommend lowering this down from default. Right, especially if you want to be able to lock onto enemies and actually have control, because the higher the number, the less control you have. Okay, the ADS sensitivity type is on relative. Again, I'm not going to go over it, but relative is what I have at the moment. The monitor distance coefficient is 1.33, which is the default. I haven't touched that. I'm not going to touch it. Keep it as it is. The custom sensitivity per zoom, that's on off, so we don't need to go to show more. And the vertical aim axis, okay, is pretty much all on standard, as you can see. All right, show less. All right, so moving on to the gameplay tab. So the crouch behavior, you toggle, prone behavior, toggle, the sprint, toggle, automatic sprint is off, tactical sprint behavior, double tap, close backpack on sprint is on, automatic airborne mantle is off, share slide and dive inputs is shared, invert slide and dive behavior is on standard. Movement settings now, so let's head over to that. So walk behavior, I've got that on hold, so I prefer holding, okay, the keybind, which allows me to walk. The walk speed, I keep it around moderate, not too slow, not too fast. You can choose which option you want. Plunging underwater, I prefer to plunge freely rather than kind of moving, then sprint and look down to plunge. Sprinting door bash, keep that as on. I love doing that. Love scaring enemies and then kind of sliding and taking them out. Grounded mantle is on. Automatic ground mantle is off. Parachute auto deploy, okay, or I'll do it myself. I don't want to auto deploy by itself. The ledge hang mantle behavior is on movement based. Now we'll head over to the main part, which is the keybinds, which is the third tab. Keybind preset, of course I'm using my own keybind, so it's going to be on custom. To move forward is W right here, and S is to move back. To move left is A, and then to move to the right is D. To interact with an object, that is going to be F, which is the next keybind right there, which is very convenient. You want to keep each keybind relatively quite close to each other. To jump, okay, is the space bar. To prone is V. Change stance, I've kept that as empty, you don't need that because slide right here is going to be C for me, and that allows me to slide or to crouch. Sprint tactical sprint focus is on shift, okay, which is right here. And then movement advanced keybinds, if I click into that. Auto move forwards, sprint is Q, tactical sprint is tab, walk I don't need. Stance, okay, is 5, which is one of the buttons right here on the side. Stance down is 4 on the side. And then these are, again, I don't need to fill them in because they're already going to get filled in. Last, stand, give up. If I wanted to give up, C or the space bar. To cut parachute is C, very easy to remember. Open parachute is the space bar. And parachute free look, where I'm kind of looking around, again, it's number 4 on my mouse. And the rest is pretty much all empty. All right, heading out of the advanced keybinds, gonna carry on now. I'm moving on to combat keybinds. To fire the weapon, it's left for me on my mouse, and to aim down the sight, it's the right. You can actually switch up whichever you prefer, to be honest, but this is, this works for me. I've used both, and to be honest, they both do the same thing. Reload, very easy to remember, is R. Again, trying to make it very, very easy to remember. Next weapon, I just kind of scroll down and that goes to my secondary weapon, then back to my first, etc. Weapon mount is Z or delete, that mounts it against the wall or a certain platform around you. To melee, that's basically getting the scroll wheel on my mouse and making sure I'm rotating it or sliding it upwards. Lethal equipment is 1, tactical equipment is 2, field upgrade is 3, to put my armor plates on is 4, or to drop an item. To stow, which is to store, okay, is basically 5. And then advanced keybinds, if we go into that. If I want to inspect a weapon, I allows the player to inspect the weapon, to look at it, or to get, a nice thumbnail. Fire mode is B, that's if I want to change it from fully to auto to single, etc. Moving on to change zoom is Y, that will change the zoom, so it can magnify or make it less magnified. Switch to first weapon, if I want to do that straight away, that's going to be F1, which is right here on top. And I haven't done these, don't see a need to be honest. Conceal weapon, again, nothing there. And night vision goggles, done it as N, makes sense, night vision N. And then mission ability, again, don't need to look at that. This is only applicable if you play multiplayer. I'll leave glance over that now. All right, then go heading backwards. The vehicle advanced keybinds, try to make it very, very similar to basically walking on the ground. WSAD, so move forwards, move back, turn left, turn right. Drift handbrake is V, next C is U. Center camera free look is 2. Again, to fire a missile, it's left on my mouse. To fire a weapon, it's left on my mouse. To fire missiles, I just kind of scroll up on my scrolling wheel. R is to reload, space bar is to climb on roof. To lean out, it's to scroll up again as well. Horn is H, war tracks is T, air vehicle, again, same settings pretty much. The only thing you need to know is when I want to ascend, I press the space bar. When I want to descend, I press V. Moving on to the next seat is free, and again here, air vehicle, okay, to use a flare, left, H is horn, and T. Again, trying to keep it very, very similar. All right, heading back out. So these are the overlay keybinds. If I want to see the scoreboard, okay, I pretty much press up here, the up arrow. If I want to see scoreboard battle royale co-op, down arrow. Backpack, if I want to access that, that is basically the caps button, okay, which is the caps lock here on my keyboard. So if I want to see the map, there's the M for map. To ping a person, I just press on my scrolling wheel. The ping wheel, I use Alt, and that allows me to ping wheel. Danger ping, okay, as you can see, that's the slash button. Call it / or / whatever it is. Text chat is control. Change loadout. As you can see, if I want to change the loadout, these are the numbers I've selected pretty much. So launcher menu, enter. Social menu, F2 or 0. Settings menu, control. Loadout menu, F6. Proximity chat is J. And then moving on to the menu advanced keybinds. Again, most of these are probably going to be default, so I wouldn't really touch these at all. But I do recommend reading through them. Again, these are the things I really care about, doesn't really benefit me in game. So to be honest, I think this is all default. I don't think I've changed a single one, so we pretty much can head backwards. A few things that we can go over pretty much maybe is graphics. All right, so on-demand texture streaming, I've got that as on. World motion blur, 100% keep that off. I don't want the environment to be blurry, as you can see on the right image. That's just going to make you very dizzy and very hard to see enemies. Also the weapon, make sure it's not blurry, keep that off as well. Film grain, make sure that's all the way down to 0. I want no grainy graphics, I want everything to look nice, smooth and clear. The depth of field is off, okay, don't want to keep that on. The fidelity FX CAS is on, and the strength I have it currently at is 70. Field of view is 120. You can play anywhere from, I say, 105 to 120, but 120 is just great. You know, we have an FOV slider, I might as well make use of it. I wish we had this back in Rebirth Island when we played on console, unfortunately. ADS field of view is affected. Make sure you change this to affected. Again, you can read the information on the right to see what's the difference. Weapon field of view is default. Third person, which I never do, so I was kind of, you know, kept that as 80. I never used that, to be honest. And then you can see the first, second, third. All right, well, I've kept it as audio. I've got mine on headphone bass boost. I love bass. All right, so bass for me is a game changer. Allows me to hear those footsteps really well. Everything sounds much better with bass. Master volume's on 22, but again, these settings right here all depend on pretty much the headset that you're using. I'm using the Astro A50. Again, I've had that for the past 3 years. It's really good. I haven't needed to change. It has an inbuilt microphone as well. It's perfect. The voice chat is on. Game, voice channel, or lobby. Last words, voice chat, definitely on. You want to get those curse words in. Proximity chat. I don't know, guys. I don't know if you actually like this. I personally don't like it. In the beginning, yeah, it was quite funny. Don't like it, to be honest, anymore. Kind of gives away my positioning, etc. Voice chat output, I'm actually going to turn that off. Voice chat output device headset. That's what I'm using. Open mic sensitivity, again, depends on your mic. Mine's at 53. I have, like I said, the Astro A50. Mute yourself when connecting to the channel. Off. Microphone level is 48. Test microphone off. Don't need to do that. Subtitles default. Subtitles background opacity 0. Mono audio is off. Reduce the titness sound is off. Juggernaut music is on for sure. And then hit marker sound effect. You can change it from classic to basically the old school Modern Warfare to hit marker. And then what is this right now? Interface. And then moving on to interface. The menu text size is on default. Default as well. 20. Short English. Again, not really relevant. To me, I don't think I've tweaked this. I have tweaked that. You actually can see more in the square as opposed to the circle. So definitely change that. I like to rotate. Absolutely. Compass. Yep. Crosshairs. This is a very important thing. I do recommend watching my YouTube short that I posted a couple of days ago, actually, on how to improve your accuracy. And I did go over the crosshairs and why I took that away. Because I took it away, I actually switched this on and I made sure the center dot circle was on the largest. And this actually helped improve my accuracy significantly. So I highly recommend watching that video after this as well. I'll link that up as a calling card too. Okay, and then the rest, I'll just leave it right there, as you can see. And that's pretty much a rundown of the keyboard and mouse settings that I use when playing Warzone 2.0. I do like to switch up between controller and keyboard and mouse, keep it nice and fresh. Why not? Feels good. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Let me know which console you're using, whether it's the PlayStation 4, 5, the Xbox. Also, if you're on PC, let me know as well, guys. I hope you found this to be useful. Like I said, it's going to be very, very helpful if you're a beginner user or intermediate, as well as maybe even an advanced level user. I'm sure you'll be able to find a few things that could be useful that you'll be able to implement into your own gameplay. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
It's not a game, it's a rich game.